Short tables, no slop 8-ball, line a crank off his gold top Les Paul. Woke you up, set you right, kept you talking till the middle of the next night. He had the stance, major attitude, vibrato you could have thrown a cat through. A little much, a little heavy, I guess the world just wasn't ready. He had the stance, major attitude, vibrato you could have thrown a cat through, yeah right. Just a ghost from back a long time ago, blue-eyed shadow you never mentioned anymore. Nothing ventured, nothing saved, you poured it out like bourbon on a fresh grave, and learned your lesson well. You learned your lesson well. No helmet or a care in the world, being such a bad little girl. Your face buried in the back of his shirt. Shut your eyes and you never get hurt on the valley road. Black walls looking through the back door, mirror ball in the middle of the dance floor. And in the dream it's still the same, but in the daylight none of that remains. Waking up to the cold hard facts, seem like everyone's living in the third act. It's how it happens, it's kinda weird, the whole scene just disappeared. We learned our lesson well. We learned our lesson well. He missed a curve on his hardtail sled, nothing broken except for his head. You know it's kind of fitting somehow, hard to picture what he'd look like now. You learned your lesson well. 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 No helmet or a care in the world, being such a bad little girl. Your face buried in the back of his shirt. Shut your eyes and you never get hurt. Flying in the Papago wind, halfway to Gila Bend. No helmet or a care in the world, being such a bad little girl on the valley road. Mikey's hard at it out there. He knows we need a dog barking. Broke into your car last night, took the stereo. Now you say you don't know why you even live there anymore. The garage man didn't see a thing, so you guess it was an inside job. You made a reservation, table for 3. They said you'd have to wait, somebody must have bribed the maitre d'. The boss got mad and he blamed it all on you. Food was bad and the deal fell through. Well, out here in the middle, you can park it on the street. You step up to the counter, you nearly always get a seat. Nobody steals, nobody cheats. Wish you were here, my love. Wish you were here, my love. 'Cause we got tractor pulls and red man shoes. Corporate reload refugees that need love too. We ain't seen Elvis in a year or 2. We got justification for wealth and greed. Amber waves of grain and bathtub speed. Now we even got Starbucks. What else you need? Out here in the middle, where the center's on the right, and the ghost of William Jennings Bryan preaches every night to save the lonely souls in the dashboard light. Wish you were here, my love. Wish you were here, my love. Out here in the middle, where the buffalo roam, we're putting up towers for your cell phones, and we screen all applicants with a fine-tooth comb. Wish you were here, my love. Wish you were here, my love. Wish I were there, my love. Ruby said you're getting us in a world of hurt. Down below the Mason dumbass line, the food gets worse. I can't go back to Tennessee. That NASCAR country's not for me. Go on if you think you must. Carlos packed his drums up in the dark of night. Ruby standing just out past the front porch light. Chain smoking Camel Straights, the sky off to the east got gray, and he rolled off in a cloud of dust. And the gray colt nickered at the gate. She said, "You're right, it's getting late. You and me got work to do. We can't be burning daylight too." She took down a long lead rope and stayed off of that slippery slope. The aspen trees were turning gold up top. The talk was buzzing round the beauty shop. Well, wasn't he barely half her age? Oh, that's just how they do nowadays. We should all have been so lucky. By spring she'd had the run of the freeborn men. Ruby turned 50 in a sheep camp tent, and her body still could rock all night, but her heart was closed and locked up tight. Potato fields all muddy and brown, the gossip long since quieted down. After one more Coggins test, pouring coffee for the county vet. Pictures on the icebox door of Carlos in the first Gulf War. Black-eyed, brown and youthful face, smiling back from a Saudi base. And then Carlos on the big bay mare, heavier now and longer haired. Looking past the saddle shed from way on back inside his head. And the old vet said one day, Rube, that colt will break an egg in you. Now and then one comes along you just can't ride, and he went on home. And the storm door didn't catch, it blew back hard as she struck a match. But she cupped it just in time. Then she sent the ashtray flying. Holding back the flood just don't do no good. You can't unclench your teeth to howl the way you should. So you curl your lips around a taste of tears and a hollow sound that no one owns but you. No one owns but you. Carlos took the road gig and he saw it through. He rode the tour bus while the singer flew. Managed out of Music Row, Carlos never saw the studio. Session guys had that all sewn up. He looks out the window and it starts to sleet. Laying on a friend's couch on Nevada Street. Lately he's been staying high, sick all winter, and they don't know why. They don't know why, or they just won't say. They don't talk much down at the VA. And Ruby's in his thoughts sometimes. What thoughts can get out past the wine? He feels her fingers on his brow, and right then he misses how she looked in that gray morning light. She never shaved like they all do now. He sees it all behind his eyes, and his hands go searching, but they come up dry. And halfway in that waking dream, Carlos lets the landline ring. He'd never have guessed it was Ruby calling, a pin in her hip from the gray colt falling. Figure eights in a lazy lope stumbled on that slippery slope. And holding back the flood just don't do no good. You can't unclench your teeth to howl the way you should. So you curl your lips around the taste of tears and a hollow sound that no one owns but you. No one owns but you. I was thinking about you crossing southern Alberta. Canola fields on a July day, about the same chartreuse as that 69 bug you used to drive around San Jose. Never knew where my old white Lincoln might take you. Party on wheels with suicide doors, bring the kids and the dogs and your grandma too. We always had room for more. Till that white knuckle ride back from Santa Cruz, second best surfer on the Central Coast, had you wrapped up all the way back to Los Gatos, and I could have cut his throat. And it wasn't like we were an atom to start with, it had no basis in fact. But the whiskey could push me to sudden extremes. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. Take my hand, Marie. Take a death grip on some part of me. Keep me from drifting far out to sea, or I'll be lost out there. We all drifted away with the days getting shorter, seeking our place in the greater scheme. Kids and careers and a vague sense of order, busting apart at the seams. I heard you switch coast, moved in with your sister. Doubt you'd have called it familial bliss. We met up in Brooklyn before it went hipster. You carried your keys in your fist. In a way back corner of a crosstown bus, we were hiding out under my hat, cashing in on a 30-year crush. You can't be young and do that. You can't be young and do that. Take my hand, Marie. Take a death grip on some part of me. Keep me from drifting far out to sea, or I'll be lost out there. Or I'll be lost out there. I was thinking about you crossing southern Alberta. Canola fields at harvest time look like tumbleweeds, raked up into rows, brown rusty contour lines. And there's not much moving on the romance radar. Not that I'm craving it all that much, but I still need to feel every once in a while the warmth of a smile and a touch. In a way back corner of a crosstown bus, we were hiding out under my hat, cashing in on a 30-year crush. You can't be young and do that. 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 Take my hand, Marie. Take a death grip on some part of me. Keep me from drifting far out to sea, or I'll be lost out there. Or I'll be lost out there. Or I'll be lost out there. That song's on a record called The Horses and the Hounds. It should be out August 20th, I hear, according to rumor. Trap them kids in, give them a little bit of vodka and a cherry coke. We're going to Oklahoma to the family reunion for the first time in years. It's up at Uncle Slayton's 'cause he's getting on in years. You know, he no longer travels, but he's still pretty spry. There's not much on talking, he's just too mean to die. And they'll be coming down from Kansas and from West Arkansas. It'll be one great big old party like you never saw. Uncle Slayton's got his Texan pride, back in the thickets with his Asian bride. He's got an Airstream trailer and a Holstein cow. Still makes whiskey 'cause he still knows how. He plays that Choctaw bingo every Friday night. You know, he had to leave Texas, but he won't say why. He owns a quarter section up by Lake Eufaula. Caught a great big old blue cat on a drifting jug line. Sells his hardwood timber to the chipping mill. Cooks that crystal meth because the shine don't sell. He cooks that crystal meth because the shine don't sell. You know, he likes that money, he don't mind the smell. My cousin Roscoe, Slayton's oldest boy, from his second marriage up in Illinois, raised in East St. Louis by his mama's people, where they do things different. Thought he'd just come on down. He's going to Dallas, Texas in a semi-truck called from that big McDonald's, you know, the one that's built up on that great big old bridge across the Will Rogers Turnpike. Took the big cabin exit, stopped and bought a carton of cigarettes at that Indian smoke shop with the big neon smoke rings in the Cherokee Nation. Hit Muskogee late that night. Somebody ran the stoplight at the Shawnee bypass. Roscoe tried to miss him, but he didn't quite. Bob and May come up from some little town way down by Lake Texoma, where he coaches football. They were 2A champions now for 2 years running, but he says they won't be this year. No, they won't be this year. And he stopped off in Tushka at that pot knife and gun place, bought a SKS rifle and a couple full cases of that steel core ammo with the Berdan primers. Some East Block nation that no longer needs a man. A Desert Eagle, that's one great big old pistol. I mean, 50 caliber made by badass Hebrews, and some surplus tracers for that old BAR Slayton. As soon as it gets dark, we're gonna have us a time. We're gonna have us a time. Have us a time. Now she's just about my age. She lives over in Missouri off of I-44 next to that great big old billboard of that little bitty baby wanting to know who's my daddy, selling that DNA testing. And she just done 6 months down at that Red River rehab. Had a little pain pill problem, but she's okay now. You know she's okay now. It's just cocaine now. Ruth Ann and Lynn come down from Baxter Springs, and that's one hell-raising town way up in southeastern Kansas. Got a biker bar next to the lingerie store. It's got the Rolling Stones lips up there and bright pink neon, and they're right downtown where everyone can see them. And they burn all night, you know they burn all night, you know they burn all night. Ruth Ann and Lynn, they wear them cut-off breeches and them skinny little halters, and they're second cousins to me. Man, I don't care. I want to get between them with a great big old heart on, like an old boat fence post you could hang a pipe rail gate from. Do some sister twisters till the cows come home, and we'll be having us a time, having us a time. Uncle Slayton's got his Texan pride, back in the thickets with his Asian bride. He's cut that corner pasture into acre lots. He sells them owner finance strictly to them. It's got no kind of credit because he knows they're slackers and they'll miss that payment. Then he takes it back. He plays that Choctaw bingo every Friday night. He drinks his Johnny Walker at that Club 69. We're gonna strap them kids and give them a little bit of Benadryl and a cherry Coke. We're going to Oklahoma, gonna have us a time, have us a time. Ovation guitar, the owner offered it to me one time, and I didn't want anything to do with it because it's an Ovation. One day I was in South Austin Music over off of South Lamar, and there was this Ovation 12-string hanging off the rack, and I thought, well, I'll try that. You know, why not do anything else? I bought it, and then I looked inside the box inside the case there, and there was some personalized pics from the guy that had offered it to me the first time. So don't judge a guitar by its fiberglass back, you know, play it first. Old Carlisle needs some money. He's running a seine out off the point. We'll all go help him though. Commercial season's closed. We might all wind up in the joint. There's bright lights out on the sandbar. Hear the donkey motor whine. And the donkey man minds his business. And I know to be minding mine, I learned from the best. Hear them crabbers cuss the weather. And they cuss the government too. They say nowadays crabbing and fishing, hanging on to a pot to piss in, is just about the best a man can do. It's hard not to cry and cuss when this old world is just bigger than us. And all we got is pride and trust in our kind. Old Carlisle and Uncle Freddie, don't you know they've seen some times? They remember gaslight, oyster war, machine gun fights. Wished I'd known them in their prime. Now they stare out past the lights to the darkness on the water. I don't think they're liking what they see. And long before that seine can make a circle, they'll know what the outcome's gonna be. They learn from the best. They learn from the best. So haul that seine up in the longboat. We get to keep whatever's gilled. We'll take a bag of bunkers home for crab bait and bluefish chum. String a croaker for the Sunday meal. String a croaker makes a meal. And it's hard not to cry and cuss. And this old world's just bigger than us. And all we got is pride and trust in our kind. Staring down that long steep slope, we gather around and we hold out hope. 'Cause at the end of the rope, there's a little more rope most times. Uncle Freddie said we did a good job. He sends us home with a 9-pound blue. But I don't see a truckload for the market. What's old Carlisle gonna do? Except haul them lights in off the sandbar. Shut the donkey motor down. Tow them longboats up the river. Let's all get on back to town. Let's all get on back to town before the warden comes. He knows better than to get here before dawn. He's got that green uniform, and the kids think he's a jerk, but you know, he's somebody's cousin, and we can't have a hometown boy out of work. It's hard not to cry and cuss when this old world is just bigger than us. And all we got is pride and trust in our kind. Staring down that long long steep slope. We gather round and we hold out hope, 'cause at the end of the rope there's a little more rope most times. I did actually once lend a hand in an illegal seining operation. A place called Sandy Point on the Potomac. Almost to the bay. Honey, don't you be yelling at me when I'm cleaning my gun. I'll wash the blood off the tailgate when deer season's done. We got one more weekend to go, and I'd like to kill one more doe. So I'll shovel the sidewalk again, 'cause you're still in a stew. And I'll bet the bridge tender's widow won't mind that I can't please you. She sure got the run of the men out here where the pickings are thin and there's not much to do. And I woke up last night in the grip of a fright, scared to breathe for I might make a noise. For this life that we crave, so little we save between the grandparents' graves and the grandchildren's toys. And we grew up hard, and our children don't know what that means. We turned into our parents before we were out of our teens. Through a series of Chevys and Fords, the occasional spin round the floor at the Copper Canteen. Now the big boxes out on the bypass are shaving us thin. I guess we can hold on a couple more years till the pension kicks in. Then we'll sell all the stock in the store, leave only the lock on the door, and wonder what then. When I wake up at night in the grip of a fright, and you hold me so tight to your chest, then your breath on my skin still pulls me back in till I'm weightless, and then I can rest. So if Monsignor should pull you aside as you leave in the church, and I'm out on the ice dropping lines for the walleye and the perch, tell him it's not your job to bring me to the fold. And I'd rather stand out in the cold. Honey, I know the wood pile's low and we can't close the flue. So I'll split up a couple more chords for the winter time's through. Hold on to your rosary beads. Leave me to my mischievous deeds like we always do. Mikey made it back in past the main cat. That's good. Sometimes he won't come in the dog door at night. I think what it is, if he can't see the mean cat, he doesn't know but what that cat's not inside waiting for him. He doesn't understand that the cat has not yet figured out the dog door. He thinks if there's a dog door, there might be a cat on the other side of it. That's weird. Looking back down the road from a little ways out, I never had a fear and I never had a doubt. If I had a lick of sense, I'd have figured that out pretty fast. But I wasn't any smarter than the average kid. Somebody might have noticed, but I never did. I never saw the future fading right into the past. Talking to the wallpaper, wandering the halls. I burned a lot of bridges and I dropped a lot of balls. It's a wonder I can never go back to any place I've been. But I wouldn't get down on my knees on a bed, near enough to Jesus as I ever want to get. Seeking salvation isn't part of my general plan. Save your prayers for yourself. I raise my glass to your health. I don't mind if you don't look like me. I can share my bread and wine. I come from another time. It don't matter all that much if it don't bleed. If it don't bleed. Now it's all I can do just to get out of bed. There's more in the mirror than there is up ahead. I smile and I nod like I heard what you said every time. So run another rack, pour another shot. You don't get it back, so give it all you got. While you still got a more or less functional body and mind. Save your prayers for yourself. I raise my glass to your health. I don't mind if you don't look like me. I can share my bread and wine. I come from another time. It don't matter all that much if it don't bleed. I guess they like it. Answer my calls and open my mail. I paid my taxes and I stayed out of jail. You stay in the game when you're too broke to fail, that's a fact. Talking to the wallpaper, sleeping in the halls. Your bones get brittle, so you better not fall. You're slow to a crawl and time gets to balling a jack. Run you right off the track. Save your prayers for yourself. Raise my glass to your health. I don't mind if you don't talk like me. I can share my bread and wine. I come from another time. It don't matter all that much if it don't bleed. 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 Well, I'll attempt something mildly difficult here. This is a Leonard Cohen song. I actually played this. Me and Stephen Barber went up to Toronto and we performed this at a Leonard Cohen tribute show, and Mr. Cohen was actually there. It was me on 12 string and Barber on this big long white concert grand piano. Seemed like a good idea at the time. But my favorite Leonard Cohen story does not actually involve Leonard Cohen. He wasn't in it, but peripherally. But some friends of mine, Jenny Finlay, my manager, and she was hanging out in Nashville with Mary Gaucher. And Mary said, "Hey, let's go hang out with Bobby Bare." Who could refuse? So they went out to Bobby Bare's place and they hung out with him in the middle of his garage. He's got like 150 fishing poles all the way around the garage. Every one of them's got a specific use. They're all pre-rigged with a lure and whatever. And he was sitting there by this card table with a stack of CDs on it, going through them to pick songs for his record. And he told them, he says, "Y'all, I just discovered this songwriter. You might have heard of him, Leonard Cohen." And they said, "Yeah, we've heard of him." And Bobby Bare says, "You know, I bet he got a lot of pussy when he was young." Cohen was still alive at the time. Mary says, "Yeah, I think he still does, Bobby." But anyway. Well, we're drinking and we're dancing and the band is really happening, and the Johnny Walker wisdom running high, and my very sweet companion, she's an angel of compassion. She's rubbing half the world against her thigh, and every drinker, every dancer lifts a happy face to thank her. The fiddler fiddles something so sublime. All the women tear their blouses off. The men, they dance on polka dots. His partner found, his partner lost. Hell to pay when the fiddler stops. It's closing time. Closing time. Well, the women tear their blouses off and the men, they dance on the polka dots. Partner found, his partner lost. It's hell to pay when the fiddler stops. It's closing time. Well, we're lonely, we're romantic, and the cider's laced with acid, and the Holy Spirit's screaming, "Where's the beef?" And the moon is swimming naked, and the summer night is fragrant with the mighty expectation of relief. So we struggle and we stagger down the snakes and up the ladder to the tower where the blessed hours chime. And I swear it happened just like this: a sigh, a cry, a hungry kiss. The gates of love, they budged an inch. I can't say much has happened since, but closing time. Closing time. And I swear it happened just like this, a sigh, a cry, a hungry kiss. The gates of love, they budged an inch. I can't say much has happened since, but closing time. And I loved you for your beauty, but that don't make a fool of me. You were in it for your beauty too. And I loved you for your body. There's a voice that sounds like God to me, declaring that your body's really you. And I loved you when our love was blessed. I love you now, there's nothing left but sorrow and a sense of overtime. And I loved you when the place got wrecked. I don't care what happens next. Looks like freedom, but it feels like death. It's something in between, I guess. It's closing time. Closing time. And I loved you since our place got wrecked by the winds of change and the weeds of sex. It looks like freedom, but it feels like death. It's something in between, I guess. It's closing time. Now we're drinking and we're dancing, but there's nothing really happening, and the place is dead as heaven on a Saturday night. And my very close companion gets me fumbling, gets me laughing. She's 100, but she's wearing something tight. And I raise my glass to the awful truth that you can't reveal to the ears of youth, except to say it isn't worth a dime. And the whole damn place goes crazy twice, and it's once for the devil and it's once for Christ. But the boss don't like these dizzy heights. We're busted in the blinding light of closing time. Closing time. And the whole damn place goes crazy twice, and it's once for the devil and it's once for Christ. But the boss don't like these dizzy heights. We're busted in the blinding light of closing time. Closing time. That guy writes more words than me. Guess we knew the cards were stacked. Started out the best of friends, and we beat that highway till it quit beating back. Didn't mean much in the end. Some you win, some you lose, some you throw away. Headed south across those Colorado plains, just as empty as the day. And we looked around at all we saw, and all we'd hoped to see. Looking out through the bugs on the windshield, Somebody said to me, no more buffalo, blue skies are open road, no more rodeo, no more noise. Take this Cadillac, park it out and back. Mama's calling, put away the toys. Don't chase that carrot till it makes you sick. What you think you're gonna prove? Just let it dangle till it falls off the stick. That's when you make your move. Don't go chasing after shooting stars, trying to make yourself a name. You could joust at windmills with that old Fender guitar, probably do about the same. No more buffalo, blue skies are open road, no more rodeo for these old boys. Take my Cadillac, park it out and back. Mama's calling, put away the toys. Never thought they'd ever doubt my words. I guess they were just too tired to care. I'd point to the horizon, to the dust of the herds, still hovering in the air. And somebody said it ain't any such. Son, you wish so hard, you're scaring me. Those are combines kicking up that dust, but you can see what you want to see. Go on chasing after what used to be there. Top that rise and face the pain. But man, they were here, I swear. Not just these bleaching bones stretching across the plain. No more buffalo, blue skies are open road, no more rock and roll as we all know it. Take my Cadillac, park it out and back. Mama's calling, put away the toys. No more buffalo, blue skies are open road, no more rodeo for this old boy. Take my Cadillac, park it out and back. Mama's calling, put away the toys. We'll just pretend that low string is a washtub bass. Pretty much is. But hell, I better fix the high strings though. Thanks for coming out, folks. Travel safe if you travel at all. And wear your nose behind your mask, please. The gates of the schoolyard are padlocked and chained to keep all the children in out of the rain. The art teacher's preaching the virtues of pastel shades. You pay no attention, but it won't hurt your grades, 'cause you're painting by numbers, connecting the dots. They don't have to tell you, you don't call the shots. You jump when they say jump, you don't ask how high. 'Cause painting by numbers, they know you'll get by. Painting by numbers, they know you'll get by. You take a position in the old man's firm. He signs all the papers, you agree to the terms. They let you run errands, you don't get days off. You take out the garbage and hope it pays off. You're painting by numbers, connecting the dots. You work from the neck down, you don't call the shots. You jump when they say jump, you don't ask how high. 'Cause painting by numbers, you know you'll get by. Painting by numbers, you know you'll get by. You might be in grad school up at MIT. You might be down in the canal zone being all that you can be. You might get to thinking you're ahead of the game. When you break it all down, it all comes out the same. You're painting by numbers, connecting the dots. You work from the neck down, you don't call the shots. You jump when they say jump, you don't ask how high. 'Cause painting by numbers, you know you'll get by. We're painting by numbers, connecting the dots. We work from the neck down as often as not. We jump when they say jump. We don't ask how high. 'Cause painting by numbers we know we'll get by. Painting by numbers we know we'll get by. Painting by numbers we know we'll get by. Thank you. Till next time.